Hey, thank you for dropping by. I'm Brandon, and this is my channel where I try to help people, and I try to do it in a visual way as opposed to how I normally do with text. You might see me around the xTool groups, or you might have stumbled across just by chance. Henning in the group asked if there was a way to do clock faces in XCS, and so I'm here to show you that it's really easy, and it's not just in Lightburn like he was asking, and I'm about to show you that it's super simple and that we can do this really easily and get you going and get you lasering some things. So let's go ahead and switch over into XCS, and then we'll get started. It's super easy, shouldn't take us very long, and then I'll upload the file and you can get it from the project site. All right, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull out a circle. This is going to be the outside of the clock face. You're going to have a second circle, which is going to be the alignment that you're going to use for the hours. Now, it's going to be a little bit smaller than the outside of the face, because the outside here is going to be the one that you're going to cut. Sometimes I use the black for that, just so I know that it's going to be cut out. Sometimes I'll use red, sometimes I'll use black. It really depends on the design. Then I'll go ahead and sometimes I'll make a copy and I'll paste. Sometimes I'll use Control-C, Control-V. It's always good to have a couple of different options. You'll want a second inner ring, and the reason why you want to do that is because you'll run a series of markers for the ticks. You know how the clock face works, right? You have the hour markers and the tick markers, and it'll either be the special hour ticks or the minute ticks, or the 5-minute ticks, 10 minutes. Then you might have the individual minute ticks if you decide you want to do the individual lines or dots or whatever. Sometimes we do special icons or shapes or whatever, or sometimes we do something unique. So we're going to go ahead and align these, and we'll do a vertical align and a horizontal align, and then I like to just group them, and that way they're stationary. They're gonna be all together, and then when I go and start working with the other objects and I start aligning those, they'll stick together. It'll be really easy. They won't kind of act up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull in a line. Now, you might be wondering why I need to pull in a line. Well, the reason why I want to pull in a line is we're going to segment this off into 30-degree segments so we can make the hour markers. I like to pull this in as a different color so that we can have a visual representation. Now, for the red-green colorblind, you can use a different color. Red is visually very vibrant for me. I'm fortunate that I can see it, so I like to use it. I'm very fortunate in that. Let's go ahead and group those. We'll do a copy and a paste, and then we'll do a 30-degree offset. So if you are red-green colorblind, I know that you could use like the yellow. The yellow would be a good one for you. We'll do a negative 30-degree offset for that. So we got, go ahead and select the red layer. That'll select all three of those. And then we'll just go ahead and align horizontally and vertically, and that'll set those all together. Okay, so now you see that they're all aligned centered. They're all in the section. We'll go ahead and group them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select everything and then align everything. So now we have everything lined up. So now what we have is we have the clock face, we have the the basic outline. We have the lines, you know, for where we want the numbers. We have the lines for where we want the ticks, and we have the segments for where we want them all aligned on the face. We're going to go ahead and pull out the text. Let's use a single digit for now. We're going to have to change them all at some point, so let's just use a nice number. Then I'm going to go ahead and put it on a different color. And that's a little big, 72. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead. Oops, wrong box. So let's go ahead and put a 25 there. Let's change that back to 0. We might even raise that up to maybe 35. I think 35 is what I used on my test file. So now we're just going to center that right there. Now, some people, they like to, I'm going to go ahead and just save. Always good to save your information. Save your file. Periodically save. It has kind of an auto-save feature now in case the software crashes. But if you accidentally close and hit no, it's not going to save your file. So make sure that you save your file. All right. I would really hate to have to go digging through your file system looking for a way to recover that. So make sure you save your files. Some people will use the circular array to try and piece this out. You don't need to do that. We've set this up so that you don't need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm just going to copy and paste. Let me zoom in here so that you can see this. And then I'm just going to put this into place. Now you see how this is snapping to all of these different things? Just zoom in. And then use your shift key and then just move it into place and then let go of the shift key when you need to fine tune. Now, what we have here is when you hold the shift key, it does whole millimeters. And when you don't hold the shift key, it does tenths. Okay? So it's super cool. Now, when you do Control C, Control V, it does 4 millimeters over, 4 millimeters down. If I do it again, it's going to do 4 millimeters over and 4 millimeters down from the second one. So every time it does it, it's going to go over and down, over and down, over and down, stagger step. However, if I right click and paste, it's going to paste right there. So make sure that you do it that way. That way you're not having to chase it all over the place. So I can just literally just go here and we'll go paste. And it's pasting right on that node. So if you space it out right, you could get pretty close. And then just kind of walk it in. And now we're gonna have to go ahead and recenter it when we change the values, because of course not every number is going to be that close, but it'll be close enough for now. All right. And when you see that little hand, that's just me holding the space bar. Super handy shortcut, which if you haven't noticed and you don't know, if you hit the little menu up here, there is a hotkeys. If you click on that, it opens up in your browser and it pops open the hotkeys. It shows all of the hotkeys in your browser. So you can keep that up on a second window. You can keep that up if you have a second monitor, or if you keep that up in a second window on your computer screen, you can go back and forth between them, and it's super handy. I will pop up a link in the description for the hotkeys so that you can click that and take a look at it as well. Okay, we're almost done here. Oh, looks like I got a little off on the circle here, didn't I? Okay, so let's go ahead and fix that. Put that one back where it was on that side. And then we'll go ahead and pull these in. I don't like that look. And you can put the ticks on the outside. Some people like them either, some people like it on the outside, some people like it on the inside. I think I did it like this because I just liked the visual appeal, and I had triangles on the hours, on the big hours. So like the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9, I did these triangular shapes. And then on these other hours, I did a diamond. So that's, we'll do the numbers now, and then we'll set everything up. So let's go ahead and set these. Let's pick a font. Let's pick some cool fonts. Let's see. Got some options here. Let's do something unique. This is a unique font. I've got some custom fonts here. Let's go ahead and hide this since we don't need that anymore. Go ahead and just going to go ahead and change the font on all of these real quick. And then I'll go back and turn that back on so we can line them back up. This particular font here is it's a special font. It's from my uncle. Is he's an artist, and he's a unique fellow. Growing up, he used to paint signs, and you heard me mentioning color blindness. He is red-green colorblind, and my other uncle was completely colorblind, so monochromatic, very unique and very rare. And anyway, so he's an amazing painter, and I was always amazed when I found out that he was colorblind. It's just an amazing feat to be able to paint when you can't see so many colors. And yeah, so when he was done painting, he began designing fonts. So he and a group of other artists made font packs with their signs, and they were all based off of the fonts that they would paint. So yeah, this is one of the fonts that they put out years ago. All right, so let's go ahead and line up all of these, make sure that they're all where they need to be. Okay, almost there. All right, one more. Excellent. Okay, so now we're there, right? Almost. So all of these are 30 degrees from each other, which is great. Except we have minutes between these, right? So how are we going to get that? Because this is 360 degrees. These are 30 degrees from each other. So if this is 5 minutes, we need 5 increments between here if we want 5 degrees, or 5 minutes, right? We need 5 ticks. And then we'll do special indicators, special pips for the others. So let's go ahead and we're gonna copy paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, put that in place. And then we're just gonna go ahead and do 15 degrees. So now that's halfway in that area right there. So that's super simple, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and blast through doing all of these. I'm just going to put lines and then I'll be right back, okay? When I get back, you're going to see the design with the lines. It's going to be super fast. Well, super fast for you, not so super fast for me. All right, I'm back. It only took me a few minutes, but as you can see, what I did was I created these little tick marks in the same manner that I'd made the red marks, the red lines. Basically, what I did was I created the little, go ahead and zoom in here. I created the little line, and let me go ahead and ungroup. So I created the little line, I moved it to the yellow layer, and I just centered it on the red and marked it out here on the circle. And then I made a copy, and I moved all the way down here and did the same and basically made it spaced out. And then I grouped those, made a copy, moved it into place, and then rotated it 90 degrees. Then I grouped that set of 4. And then I rotated those, again, 30 degrees, negative 30 degrees, and I set those up with the 12, right? Just like the hours. And then what I did was I did 3 degrees, negative 3 degrees, 6 degrees, negative 6 degrees. And what that does is that sets up the 3 degrees this way, the negative 3 degrees this way, the 6 degrees this way, the negative 6 degrees this way. And that gives us our ticks, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks between each section. Okay, each 30-degree section. So that's how we make our clock face. So let's go ahead and hide our panels, our sections here, and then we can even hide the dark blue circles. So here we have these sections. We've got the individual numbers here. Set those to engrave if we want to. As far as these, if we want to do the longer ones like I was talking about, we can do this and we can drag this one down. Let's make this a little longer. Let's say like 10. Okay. Maybe 10 is a little long. Do 8. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now let's come over here to the 3. And then let's go like this. Let's make this an 8. Yeah, see, we can't do it that way. See how it pushed it over that way? So we're going to go ahead and select it. We're going to have to resize this one by hand. We'll get it as close to accurate as possible. Oh, look at that. Okay, we're good. And we'll come over here, select that one, zoom in. And here. Okay, so those are those big ones. Now, these other ones, we can come in here, and what we can do is we can, like we did with the other ones, we'll copy these ones, paste 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can rotate 30 degrees like that to replace those ones. We just come in and we select that. And we could have done that with the other ones too, if we really wanted to. We'll do this one and this one here. Let's see, we need this one because we need the 11 and the 5. So we'll do that one. We need to go -30 that time. Got one last pair with the 2 and the 8, so we can do -30 from the 9 and the 3. There we go. Oops. That's what I get for trying to... Oh, I'm using shift. My pinky was pressing on shift. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look. I'm going to go ahead and save. Always make sure you save. I said before. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and click on the layer. We're going to go ahead and set it to engrave just so we can take a look at it. Let's go ahead and there we go. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and make sure that we group all of the stuff, right? So we're going to group all of the little stuff. So it's groups of little things that we can then center together when it's time. So now we need a center point, because when we go to make a face, or if we want to put a picture here, or we want to do something like that, we have to know where to put the hole. And when we build the clock and we put the motion behind it and punch the hole, drill the hole, right, for the motion to go behind it, and put the minute hand that we're about to build, when we put the minute hand and when we put the hour hand, we need to have a place for it. So we're going to go ahead and just put a circle. We're just going to drag it out. I'm just holding shift and go ahead. That's going to be too big, but I just need it to be out there. So we'll go ahead and just make it 5 millimeter. I'm going to go ahead and send it to the black layer, because again, it's going to get cut out. So we'll just select everything and we're going to align, center, center. And we're going to take these two and group, save. Okay. So what we have is we have everything that we need for a clock, except for the hands, right? The minute hand, hour hand. So let's make them. Well, we could go find something. We could go do a search. Why don't we make it? That would be way, way cooler, right? So let's make it. Let's find some shapes. All right, let's see. Let's go into the basic shapes here. We could use an arrow. We could use something simple. I want to, where's the diamond? Let's see. Here's the diamond. Okay. So we're going to come out here. Let's send these to their own layer. So we're going to send that to the green layer. These are going to be the hands. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and rotate this. Oops, not 45. What was I thinking? 30? No? Apparently 52 degrees. Okay. Well, I think it should have been probably a little more than that, but a little less. Maybe 50 degrees would have been more. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and adjust this with without the lock, so that we can make a couple of hands that are a little more appropriate for what they do. And don't worry, we're going to make them more size appropriate too, of course. So we want them centered. And of course, we don't want them to look funny. But we do want it to go out to the minutes. Okay, so that's good. All right, so let's get creative with the way that it looks. First things first, we don't want this whole back end. So let's kind of, let's cut this out. Okay, that works. That'll do. All right. And then whatever we do, whatever we make, we'll modify it slightly and then shorten it a little bit, and that'll be the hour hand. But I kind of want to make it look kind of cool, whether it's something that I would necessarily sell or something like that. I don't think I would necessarily sell it or anything like that, but just want something unique. Okay, so let's go ahead and look here. Let's go ahead and subtract that. And let's go ahead and do that again with slightly different sized circles. So we're going to zoom in so it's not being affected by too many of these shapes here. That's what we're looking for. Then we'll just space it out there. All right. Okay, so it's kind of a cool looking hand. And then we can make a duplicate of it, copy and paste, right? And then we need to kind of make it shorter. It needs to be significantly shorter than that for the hour hand. We don't want to just shrink it, and we don't want to make it stubby, right? We don't want to just make it stubby, because then it doesn't look as cool and doesn't have the hole where we need it. What we can do is we can find a shape that we can use to cut it out. So if we were to adjust this star right, we might be able to shape the star well enough that we could use it as a means to cut it out. And we can bring it in here this. We want to bring it in, and of course, right before it starts to impact any of the rest of this is when we would subtract. There we go. So now I'm just going to copy that because I don't want the hour hand to be, you know, kind of off. Do you think that that's enough? Is that distinct enough? Visually? Yeah, I think it's enough. We might need another circle so that the person can tell the difference enough. Oh, the dark blue line is hidden. The dark blue layer. So we'll send that to the dark blue layer. Let's ungroup. We will delete that one and delete that one. Okay, so we're going to select all of these except these two. Then we're going to align them. Okay. Yeah, I think that those are distinct enough. Because this one's just barely going over that center circle. And we'll score that, and that'll kind of give a visual. I think a lot of clocks have these lines in the middle, these circles in the middle. They kind of they give that visual for people, and they do that so that people can tell the difference between the minute and hour hands. I think visually that's why they're there. That's just my guess. Yeah. Okay. So we'll go ahead and we're just going to set that to score just so we can see it. Okay. So there's a clock face with hands. I'm going to go ahead and set these off to the side. This will be set to cut. And these are set to score. The black layer, those will be set to cut. We have these set to engrave, this set to engrave, this is set to score. So we're all set. This is a done deal. I'm going to go ahead and save it. I guess, well, you know, that's it. We don't really have anything else to go over. I think that that's pretty much as long as it needs to be. Probably longer than it needs to be, but I'm gonna edit out, you know, maybe some space. And then, of course, the two segments. If you have any questions, be sure to post them. Post anything that you'd like me to go over inside of the group or, you know, down below. I try to answer as many questions as I can throughout the week, as you guys know, that the people that, you know who I am anyway. Those that don't, you know, feel free to stick around. If you know the XTool Facebook groups, definitely, you know, come join the user groups, the owners groups that I'm a part of. I answer as many questions as I can, and there are lots of really great people that participate in those groups. So don't hesitate to ask questions. There are lots of people that are really helpful, that really like to spend their time helping, not just me. So make sure that you don't not ask questions because you're worried that somebody's not going to answer you. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to add a couple of extra little features. There's some things that I like to do. Some people just would fly with this. What I like to do, I kind of like to duplicate my engrave layers and set them to score so that you get a nice crisp outline of all your engravings. I don't do it with all my engraved layers if I want a nice gentle edge, but for something like this, I want my numbers to be nice and crisp. I want my little minute markers. I want those, the second markers, my minute markers. I want them all to be nice and crisp too. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to include that here. Those will be scores. And then I'm not going to set any power settings. I'm going to leave it as user defined. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because it's getting uploaded, but it's also going to be for whatever material you're going to use it for. So if it's basswood, set it to basswood. And because I've set the mode for each of the things, it's going to be appropriate for what it is, for whatever material you set. I'm also not going to put the hole for the hour marker and the minute marker and for the hands. And the reason for that is I don't know what movement you're going to use. So I don't know what size hole to put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a note on the side that's going to be set to ignore, so it won't mess up anything. And it's going to tell you to create a hole, create a circle for the appropriate size. And then basically what they usually have is they have a post with a screw hole, and you just, you slide it on, and then it has a little screw that screws in and holds everything in place. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap that up. I'm going to upload, and then I'll put a link to the projects link for the project site inside of the description as well. There'll be some affiliate links below as well if you want to help contribute. I'm pretty low maintenance, so if you have any questions, like I said, put them below. Subscribe if you don't. Find me on the Facebook group. You can find the other stuff. I do leather work. That's where I got into lasers, just for pattern transfer, stuff like that. That's what my Instagram's for. So I just like to help people. So if you have questions, ask. Have a wonderful weekend. It's getting really late, so I'm going to finish up. I'm going to edit the video and hopefully get it done before midnight. Have a good night.